Hi, welcome back everybody. In our previous clip, this was where we stopped, whereby we added the background color to this, not color, but to say the background image. So this is the background image. If I expand it, I believe you can see that the background is looking exactly like what we have here. It's looking exactly like this. This is the project we are creating. Don't forget that. So since we have added the image, the next thing that we're going to be adding next is how to arrange this transparent frame. Can you see this frame? It's called a transparent background. How to add this transparent background. That's the next thing we're going to be looking at next. So I will flip over to my HTML site. Now if you check, don't forget that the background, whenever I want to add the background to the whole body, we reference the body in the CSS, and that was exactly what we did. I called body, then I added the image to the body. Right now there is a div inside the CSS with a class name of sign up box. In other words, every of our project, the form and the text and these are sign up text, they are all inside this div with a class name of what? Sign up box. Hope it's clear. Good. So now I am going to be calling this div, but instead of me calling div, I'm going to be calling the class name, the class name of our div called what? Sign up box. Don't forget that whenever I want to reference an HTML class inside the CSS file, we are going to make use of dot before writing the name of the class, right? So the name of our div is called what? Sign up box. I will flip over to my CSS. Since I want to call a class, I'm going to say dot sign up box. The name here must be exactly as the name here. Take note of that. But since it is a class, we are going to put a dot before the sign up box. Don't forget that our body is not a class. Our body is a proper, tag. So we don't need to put dot when referencing it. But when you are calling classes, you put dot before the name of the class. Is that taken? Good. So I had my calling brace. The next thing I'm going to add is the background, right? We want to add a transparent background. There is what is called RGB code. RGB, which is red, good, red, green, blue, and alpha. Right? So our red is going to be 44. We're going to give our red a value of 44. Our green, we're going to give our green a value of 62. Our blue, we're going to give our blue a value of 80. Then our alpha, we're going to give it a value of 0.7. Right? I save this, then I refresh it. Can you see that? The body of our, let me expand it. Can you now see that the body of our div is currently having a transparent background? Is it working? It's working. Alright, so I return this back to normal. This background that I see now, this is what we currently have here. That's what we want to do, which is this. Alright, so the next thing that I want to add is a padding. I'll say padding. I'm going to give it a padding of 40 pixels. What's the padding? 40 pixels. Right? I save, then I refresh. Some of us may not understand what I just did. Well, let me explain that. Now let me comment this out. Let me comment out the padding. I comment it out. Don't forget, comment our unexecutable code, meaning that this code will not execute because it's being commented out. Once I refresh this again, you see that our sign up box, initially it was very close to the top, right? And even the form was also very close to the side. But as soon as I added padding with a value of 40 pixels and I refresh, can you now see that everything adjusted? Now what if I now make it a padding of 80 pixels and save, then I refresh? Can you see that it's adjusted again, but I want us to use 40 pixels. Alright, I refresh again. Good. So the next thing that I want to make use of, that I want to do is the width. If you notice this now, okay, I'm going to give it a width of 250 pixels before I save this. If you notice our width, if you notice this correctly now, you can see that this background is extending to almost to the end of the page. But if you look at this, you know, the width the background is just kind of minimized at the center, right? So that is what we want to take care of next. All right, so I will save this. I refresh. Can you see? Is it working? It's working. So in other words, our width has been reduced to 250 pixels. It's no longer stretching or covering the whole background. What if I should make it like, okay, 350? If I should make it like 350 and I save, come over here and I refresh. Can you see? It's extending. Is it working? It's working. Good. But since we don't need it at 350, we need it at 250. I'm going to save this, then I refresh this. See? Readjusted, right? Now, the next thing I want to add is what is called the margin top, margin dash top. And I'm going to give it a margin top of 90 pixels. 90 pixels. I save, then I refresh. Some of us who didn't, did you see that at all? In other words, this margin top means from the top now, readjust yourself, shift. Initially, when we, okay, let me comment it out again and refresh. Can you see that it was very close to the top? But as soon as I added the margin top, it readjusted down. So you can, if I now make it a margin top of 190, for an instance, I refresh. Can you see now that it's very done now? So we need it at a margin top of 90 pixels. I save and I refresh. We need it just like this. Alright, and if you notice now, it's too close to the left, and when you look at this is centralized. So we are going to add the margin left. That's what we call the margin left, and I'm going to give it a margin left of 180 pixels. 180 pixels. I save and I refresh. Can you see? Readjusted. Is it working? It's working. Okay. Then the last thing I'm going to be adding to this is called just the normal margin. I'll say margin, right? I will add the margin of 0 and auto. I save this. I refresh. Did you just see that? How about later? Somebody didn't see what just happened. Now you remember, okay, let me comment our margin out. Let me comment this. I save and I refresh. Because we gave it a margin left of 180, even if you stretch it, it's still 180. From here to here, it's still 180. It's not readjusting itself to the center, right? But as soon as I added margin 0 auto and I refresh, it automatically adjusts itself with the size of the screen. Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? Is it working? It's working. Alright, so in our next clip we're going to be talking about how to, in other words, in this clip we are able to add this, right? So in our next clip we're going to talk about how to add some other styles and all that. So it's kind of taking the form of this now. See you in just a moment. Thank you.